$1 million watch is not really a watch anymore. At that level, nobody is buying it because they need to know the time. They are buying rarity, history, status, provenance, a story small enough to fit on the wrist, but powerful enough to make billionaires raise their paddles in an auction room. And that is why $1 million watches keep breaking records. Because the most expensive watches in the world are not priced like products. They are priced like art. Think about it. A normal luxury watch is valuable because of the brand, the movement, the materials, and the craftsmanship. But a record-breaking watch needs something more. It needs a reason for people to emotionally compete over it. That reason is usually story. A rare Patek Philippe is not just a complicated piece of engineering. It represents generations of watchmaking prestige. A vintage Rolex Daytona is not just a chronograph. If it belonged to Paul Newman, it becomes a cultural artifact. Suddenly, the watch is connected to Hollywood, racing, style, masculinity, and one of the most famous collector's myths in history. The object did not change. The meaning did. That is the first reason records keep breaking. Provenance. In collecting, who owned the watch can matter almost as much as what the watch is. A watch worn by a famous actor, a legendary athlete, a royal figure, or an important historical person becomes more than metal and gears. It becomes a physical piece of someone else's story. And rich collectors do not just want rare objects. They want objects with mythology. The second reason is scarcity. Luxury brands produce expensive watches every year. But true record breakers are different. They may be unique pieces, discontinued references, rare metals, unusual dials, or models made in extremely small numbers. When collectors know they may never see another example again, logic starts to weaken. The auction room becomes emotional. Nobody wants to be the person who almost bought the watch. Nobody wants to watch history slip away because they hesitated. So the bidding rises, then rises again. And suddenly, the watch is no longer being valued by normal market rules. It is being valued by desire. The third reason is that watches have become an asset class for the ultra-wealthy. For some buyers, $1 million watch is not just a passion purchase. It is a portable store of value. It can be held, displayed, insured, traded, and passed down. Unlike a car, it does not need a garage. Unlike a painting, it does not need a wall. It can sit in a safe and still carry enormous cultural and financial weight. But the most fascinating part is this. The highest end of the watch market does not behave like the normal watch market. A regular collector may worry about prices dropping, gray market corrections, or whether a model is still hyped. But at the very top, the rarest watches can move differently. The buyer pool is smaller, but far wealthier. And for them, the question is not always, is this a good deal? The question is, can I ever get this again? That changes everything. There is also ego involved. Auction records are public. When a watch sells for millions, the sale becomes news. The buyer may remain anonymous, but the victory is still real. Someone won the battle. Someone now owns the piece everyone else wanted. That is why record-breaking watches are about more than collecting. They are about access. They are about status. They are about proving that even in a world full of luxury, some things are still almost impossible to own. But there is a warning here. Not every expensive watch is a smart investment. Not every limited edition becomes legendary. And not every hyped model deserves $1 million price tag. The watches that truly break records usually have a perfect combination. Rarity, condition, brand power, history, and emotional pull. Remove one of those, and the magic weakens. That is why $1 million watches keep breaking records. It is not because they tell time better. It is because they tell stories better. A normal watch measures hours. A record-breaking watch captures a moment in culture. And for the world's richest collectors, owning that moment can be worth almost anything.